everybody. Welcome to the first podcast for DB with Filmmakers. I'm Dylan Black, or DB, and today we have none other than my guy here, Tommy Waite.
Of TommyWaite.com.
One thing about Tommy is that he is a comedian, he is a poet, he is a podcaster also, and ultimately, and a film director as well. I'm sorry, I didn't say that part, but he ultimately is a storyteller. And today I want to talk about story. I want to talk about his perspective. So Tommy Waite, what's up?
What's up? Thank you for having me, DB. It's weird calling you DB. Did
Yeah.
you lose all your other letters when you lost your hair?
Yeah, man, it was a shame. Me and Tommy have known each other for like, I don't know, 7 years now.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
we were right across the hall at in school. You know, he heard
lived across from each other.
Tommy Waite was the only person to get up in front of everybody in 150 English class that we had, and he did a rap for everyone. You know, he did a full-on. I don't think it was a freestyle. I think it was written. I can't know for sure.
I can't freestyle.
But then you've always had the knack for coming up in front of people and like just you went on the open mic, and I think I might have even, I don't know if I noticed you, but I don't know if I talked to you or if we even like knew each other like that.
Well, you claimed that you talked to me before we were friends, and then I didn't.
In Garbanzo.
I don't know.
We were both planets in space, and you know the gravity and the rotation, and then I got into his orbit with his short film called
Street Walking.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Last minute thing because I was like really burned out at the time, but you needed an actor for Ben. And what was interesting about this, and you know, is that it was really bold for you to make your, you know, short film so autobiographical, and an interesting twist too, which I won't tell people about. They should go watch, you know, Street Walking right now.
Yeah. TommyWaite.com/film. I question how it is a hard one. Autobiographical I should have been. Like I used all the real names that I used like inspiration for.
Well, and one of the guys was literally the guy.
Yeah.
know?
My Tommy's friend Pete in the movie is my friend Pete in real life. So
yeah, really awesome. And he's a great guy too, you know. What was interesting too is that this movie being so tied to you, you have such an element of like philosophy and of your perspective. Yeah, what comes first with you with storytelling? Like what should we, when we're building our stories, is it the story first or is it the perspective first? What part drives you towards that final destination?
I think you build your perspective first just because of your personality. You want to, you know, build up your perspective, and then from you that's already tied up in the perspective, that's where the stories come from. Does that make sense? The perspective influences the story.
Yeah, so like
but you don't do it for the story. You do it
it's
for
just
yourself.
something that comes out of you.
I guess so, yeah. Or you harness in a way. I use this analogy sometimes, like when I get excited about something I'm doing, it's almost like, oh, thank goodness I tapped into this. It doesn't feel like, oh, I created this. It's like, oh, I, you know, stuck the thing in the tree and now the sap's coming out. Yeah, sometimes you do everything right and then nothing comes out too. So that's God, the tree is God, or like whatever you want to say.
Well, yeah, man. Well, it's like that. The inspiration is what you're trying to get at, I think, and it's just like finding what the thing is that inspires you. Because like I know I have like tried to make things that seem to be the way to do it. Like everyone else has success making this, so I have to make it. And then like it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like It feels like I'm at like a shopping center with my mom, and I'm like forced to be there, and it's like I don't want to do this. I don't want to be a part of this, and so it's like go to the store that you want to go to.
Okay, so I'm the AD, which stands for Assistant Director, and I'm like the project manager that kind of handles like the littler things that the director doesn't want to deal with. So I was doing like script supervisor work also, and I was like helping with sandbags, like little things with the grip, and what else was I doing that was weird? I can't remember, but I've been doing a lot of things, and we're all just wearing different hats. By the way, TommyWaite.com, whatever, you know.
You were my first assistant director on What's Left of Barry, and I was so thankful that you were there and everything.
I remember the first location scout day, and being like, wow, we have this whole place to ourselves. Like, this is so crazy.
We were shooting in a like a call center, which was this like, it was like 24 hours or something. So there were some points when there were people in the background, and they were just like going out and doing their own thing, and we would have to like either ask them to stop or like work around like whatever they were doing, you know.
I forgot about that.
Very nice people, very nice. No one gave us any problems, you know. But yeah, that was
the problem.
Would you recommend to have a first AD if you're trying to do a short film?
Oh man, yeah, that's pretty much the first person I would secure. I didn't have, I don't remember exactly what happened, but I remember not having a first AD for part of my my shoot, and that was really tough because the AD does everything that the director shouldn't have to worry about, like the logistical timing things. You're the right-hand man of the director, and you're just making sure the director has to worry about what the important big nuance little things.
Yeah, and you also have to be taking the role of the bad guy, which stinks, because if the director wants to get like 100 new shots, you know, the AD has to go, well, bro, we don't have any time or money or whatever, and we just have to figure it out as it comes.
I'm surprised people don't, and maybe I'm just not looking hard enough or something, but I'm surprised that directors aren't always like thanking the first AD in interviews and acceptance speeches. I think I've heard it in a few acceptance speeches, but like, why is that not more of a thing?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I think it's sort of, they don't really, it's more known just to thank the above the line people, you know.
I know it's not a glamorous job, but
they're essential. So it is true. Like, a lot of these people sacrifice their well-being to be first ADs, you know. There's I don't know how true this statistic is, but like, it's supposed to be that every AD has an average lifespan of like 50 years old.
Really?
I know. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Which is
laying their life on the line, and they can't get a thanks at an award show.
We thank every professional AD out there that's keeping their head down and, you know, working way through it. You know, not just firsts, but their seconds, their seconds, and PAs. Like, every PA, that's the essential. That's really important too. If you're trying to do a short film, a PA will save your life. They've saved my life in so many different ways and saved the production.
It's funny because they're the lowest on the totem pole, but I mean, you need everybody. That's the thing. It's like, I don't know. They're not any less important than hair and makeup people or whatever.
They're paid the least amount, and yet you have them do, like, you know, they're the ones that are making lunches for, you know, the talent, or they're dealing with like incredibly like crazy scenarios. Like, I have so many stories about like the people I've had to deal with on like sets and stuff.
Tune in for other episodes for those. You should have like a PA only episode where you like trade horror stories.
I was actually thinking about that. Yeah, like with some of the PA friends I've had. Yeah, just a quick note about like Paul Stover. Like he's awesome. He's great.
He had such a hard role, but he was always so fun between takes, which I always admired.
Rare guy to have like in a movie that like, you know, didn't really deserve someone of that caliber. Everyone.
Did you send him the script first? How did that work?
Well, I would say everyone on the movie was really amazing. Also, like really shot above their weight. But like with Paul specifically, he I just got like an email. I was looking for actors, and I just like emailed like a professor, and then they had like YouTube links to people, and I clicked on Paul's, and his was like one that like blew me away. And I gave him a cold email, and then he responded. And then
did you
like
include the script in that, or did you just say, "Hey, I'd like to talk to you about"?
But the then he responded, and then I sent him the script, just having conversation after conversation. And then like I was still kind of like nervous and everything up until that like first day and that first scene, which was the if you remember the scene with the HR person.
Yep.
Yeah, that was the first scene we shot of the whole movie, and we were all just kind of. I was really insecure. Like I didn't know what to know. I didn't know what was the special. Like was I supposed to say certain things as a director? And then when I saw him and like sit down, and then he says what he says in the movie. I'm not gonna try to spoil it. And then I was like, oh, this guy is phenomenal. This guy is above and beyond. He's amazing. And that's when I learned that like you as a director don't need to have every single book read. You don't need to know like the certain acting methods or acting schools, you know, the differences between Meisner and Stanislavski and or Kenneth Stanislavski or something.
Yeah. Kenneth Blotzy.
Shout out KG, baby. KB. You don't need to know that. You just need to know your story, and you need to be an advocate for your story as well as be an advocate for the crew and the actors. And it was that film that was the slow process of understanding that.
Did you do anything different other than like kind of your confidence, because you knew the script and you knew the story?
Yeah. The what I did differently was stop getting in the way and stop overthinking, and like if it worked, it works.
Sometimes the best idea comes from a PA or something, and you're like, well, that's right, that's the right answer, we're gonna go with that, or at least try it.
Because that's also who we do it for, right? Like we don't make movies to put on a hard drive so we can keep in our basement. We make them so they can be watched. And if someone watching the scene is like, oh, you know, they have something to add, then it's like, yeah, let's hear it out, you know? Did you find that with when you were directing Streetwalking? Because I had an opportunity of being directed by you. Was it because it was so autobiographical? Was there that like disconnect?
I remember hearing Pete Holmes. I don't know if you know him, but he's a comedian that had an autobiographical show called Crashing, and he said how it was important for him to always refer when he's talking about like the movie or the show, like himself as Pete. So I would always say, Tommy's doing this, Tommy's doing that, so it's easier for me to like compartmentalize and not like take it so personally and preciously. Another example of doesn't matter where the best idea comes from, because I wasn't sure at first about you being so funny, which is a funny thing to say, especially because like I take I take funny things so seriously. That's what I wanted to say. Suggesting things, I was like, is that like the right tone? And then we tried it, and then it was just immediately apparent that like that's what it should be. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Anyway, guys, Streetwalking, TommyWaite.com. and
Slash film.
slash film, and that you saw in the video too that was just playing here, is that like it's so important to have behind the scenes people on your shoot, on your film, man. Like even if your film never comes out, even if it's like lost in time, or if you just decide to like put it out on YouTube or something, that the value of someone being there taking photos of you pointing or like having conversations, it's like priceless,
Yes.
Tommy, you had an
totally.
amazing photographer on yours as well. I still
really
use those
lucky.
photos. Yeah. I got
did
lucky
great.
too. I had a hat on, and people don't know. People don't know I have hair on that.
That's right. Yeah.
I can
But
use
the
it. It's
behind the
evergreen.
scenes- Yeah, BTS is very, very important. Even just to prove to other people that you've done stuff. I always say take more pictures in general in your life. Like, people don't do it enough. It's so easy to take pictures nowadays, and I'm a bit of a digital hoarder, kind of sentimental person, but I never think it's a bad idea to take out a phone to take a picture.
I think in general, filmmakers need to be more non-linear and bilateral thinkers. Your main purpose on set is to make a movie. That is like the most important thing. Don't get me wrong, but like the idea of it having a podcast associated with the film, or a comic book, or like all these different things, or like behind the scenes, like a TikTok, like an Instagram.
Yeah.
Those things there now, we're seeing success there. And that's the hard thing too, because like I'm not a marketing guy. Like I didn't go to school for that, but you kind of forced to be, like, and it's tough. It's like the current landscape. Instead of like the artistic side, you also have to have the entrepreneurial side too, which is like there's a clash there, isn't there?
Yeah. It's like different parts of the brain or something. The artistic side, and then the salesman.
But you've always been a salesman, because you would introduce yourself with your website.
Yeah, I was at TommyWaite.com.
Yeah.
I always had stuff that had my website on it. Oh, where is it? There it is. Nope. There you go. So, like, I don't know. I just thought that was easy. Now everyone has a website, so it's not even interesting or cool. But,
Yes.
I just
On a separate note, what'sleftoberry.com.
great time for a plug.
Yes.
You just got to put it. You made a shirt for it, right?
Well, it's not for sale, but
It's not for sale, but you made one.
I made a shirt.
This, like, my drink isn't for sale either, but people see it and they're like, oh, that must be you. And like, I was at a coffee shop a couple months ago, and a girl was sitting next to me, and she looked up and she was like, hey, like, just want to let you know, like, appreciate your work or something. I was like, oh, hi, thank you.
How do you handle writer's block?
I'm reading this book. Have you heard of it, actually? Called The Bible? No. It's called the War of Art.
No, I've never heard of that.
Okay, it's really good. It's a short read. I don't read, but it's an audiobook. It's like only 2 hours long or something.
Oh wow.
But his big thing is like every day resistance is the enemy. And so resisting actually sitting down and writing something. So if you just sit down and write something every day, like the discipline will fight the writer's block. When you have a deadline, that's when it gets annoying, because then you're like getting down on yourself because like, oh, I should have did this by now and stuff like that. Be the part that is the most hard with writer's block. So when you throw away the perfectionism and just like do the work ethic thing of the war of art thing, just put something down. It doesn't have to be perfect. Then the next day you could look at it and be like, oh, there's actually something here. I just need to tweak it, or something like, oh, I don't like any of that, but I do have another idea. Exactly.
That's like, for me, it's been that, because I have seasons. Like writer's block to me isn't like days or pages or something. It's like there will be a year where I don't touch a screenplay. And it's like it's a spiral. It's like, oh, you know, I want my first movie to be like groundbreaking and like Citizen Kane and like
Pulp
all
Fiction,
these different things. I have so many ideas and they need to come out, you know. And then so I've been very happy to say, like, so far this year I've written like 4 scripts, which is me to say, like, it's going just full bat of like, I'm just gonna write this and then I'm gonna forget about it, and then I'm gonna write the next thing, I'm gonna forget about it, I'm gonna write the next thing, I'm gonna forget about it, I'm gonna write the next thing. So I'm on my 4th one now, and it's just is like I'm moving in a direction, and it's like I'm being very productive, and I'm just I understand, like, hey, now is the season that like I'm gonna be writing, and then there's gonna be a season where I'm not gonna be doing it for however long. So it's like harnessing it right now, and like hopefully the sail takes me to a decent enough spot where I can, you know, rest on the shore for a bit of time.
It's nice to talk to people that talk in metaphor like that, like you said, the sail and stuff. Like, I love it. Just word, like literal words sometimes just doesn't get it done. And talking about it in like abstract ways is more deep and fulfilling and meaningful than just literal words. And there's some people just don't comprehend metaphor, which is so weird to me. Have you come across people like that?
I think there's some people out here that it is such a transactional thing that you just need to be like, get to the point. And I feel like that's a real shame sometimes, you know, like.
But I think sometimes you could get to the point quicker by using metaphor.
Well, that's an interesting point there too. Like, you can maybe understand like the taste of something versus just be like, it's brittle, you know? You could say something like, it's like a chip of wood if it was soaked in rain. Yeah.
It could say more in fewer words than literal words. You're talking about marketing yourself, and I think I kind of model my thought process for creativity through Childish Gambino, aka Donald Glover. He's like one of my inspirations, and he talks about like people want to be immersed, and like he's really interested in world building. So I think when you could do that through, like you said, having a podcast to go with your movie or show, it just gives people another way to enjoy the story, is what we're always getting to.
Like the beautiful thing is like someone being so interested in everything that you've made that they're going to be willing to jump into this new movie that you've made, and it doesn't have to rely on being a known IP. It doesn't have to rely on being a big star attached or having countless amounts of CGI. You know, it just comes in because you yourself have your own, like a Donald Glover. You know, he has his core audience, and people will go to that. Even though I don't know when his IMAX movie is ever gonna come out.
Oh yeah, what is that even again? He has so much stuff that is just he never. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's
Yoshi.
He's semi-retired. Yeah.
No.
That's what he said.
Yes, but no.
He's retired the Childish Gambino thing.
He said that in 2016. So, and he put out 2 albums since then, 3 albums, I think.
I guess to talk more about like what's left to bury, you know, this is a project that started out coming from a place of darkness, you know, with it being about like suicide and depression. Yeah. It felt like it was too big of a task to start it. It felt like I was too young, and maybe I was, and I was too inexperienced. The movie, which I'm not going to spoil anything, it all kind of hinges on this last moment. Building up to that ending, I didn't know I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know what it would have been like. And if it didn't go the way it would, the movie would have been trashed. It would have been terrible, and it would have been a waste of everyone's time, and that was the most stressful part, a thing that left me quite awake many a night.
Yeah.
Do you remember that day at all?
Yeah, I remember not being allowed in the room, which I think was smart. You kept it bare bones, just the actor, sound, camera, you. And I remember being stressed for you, and I felt like, oh man, I wish I could be in there so I could help, but I understood that wasn't the right move. And you shot a few different ways, right? So that stressed me out too. Like I wanted you to make sure you got what you wanted. It seemed like you weren't even 1,000% sure.
Yeah.
Like what was the right move. So
yeah, again, trying not to spoil anything with this. Thank you for walking around what really is the climax of the film, And in the script, it was like 3 lines in action, 3 action lines. And then like on the day, it was just me, the Paul Stober, the actor, the sound person, and the camera person. Like I don't know if you remember, but we were shooting other things, or we had some spare time where he was able to just like get into his own mind and get into a spot, and then approaching it, he brought out this whole almost motion, this whole almost like dance, that coming into the scene and making it 3 minutes worth, or 3 minutes plus, and then something kind of unique and something crazy, something that I had no idea was going to happen, happened. He started to have this like dance happening in the scene, and then my camera guy gets in sync, gets in gravity, like me and Tommy Waite, gets in the gravity of the motion too. And now we have these shots sort of unveiling in the moment. And I'm just like sitting back, and then it comes to this beautiful ending. And yeah, you're right. Like you mentioned, like I wasn't confident after that was over, because the script version was way different than what was just happening in this moment. Yeah. That was informing a way different ending, an ending that was like maybe closer to that initial emotion that I was writing it. But here you see something beautiful and real that just happened right in front of you. Why would you deny that? So like begrudgingly, like we shot this ending right after that, which is like, but yeah, it's just like a quick shot that transforms the whole ending of the movie. And then like there was the next scene, was supposed to have this whole makeup setup, supposed to look way different, and we never had that makeup happen. And I was just sitting there with the camera guy. We were shooting the same scene 5 different ways, and then like the last way, it was like, oh, there it is, that's the ending. And that motion, that feeling was the thing that helped eventually get to that finale, which is something that you guys should watch and, really see what it ended up being.
But also, I also wanted to touch on, because we were like, oh, be open to the story. But the other, the trade-off with that is, how do you know how to like fight for what you think is right? So that's like a hard thing to have to distinguish and figure out on the fly. Like, am I being stubborn or am I being true to myself? So that's something that I guess you had to do, but once you saw it, you knew what the right thing was.
Well, it was the same with like your ending, because like you were telling me before how the ending has this metaphorical nature to it also with your short film, how it ties into a memory that you have with someone that you love. And like, it feels like that leads into the idea of like, that's what you got to be stubborn about. Those things that like, it feels like that is a tenet of why you made your short film versus like, if you're soft on that, then you're like, maybe that's something I can lose or I can wiggle around. But like, call those pillars of your inspiration. That is why you do it, and those shouldn't move because the whole thing could collapse. Because that goes into my last question, which is like, what is the color that you represents you the best?
I don't know how to tell this without like kind of spoiling my whole movie, but my favorite color since I was a kid, my grandma's favorite color was yellow, and then she died when I was like 6, so to honor her, it was always yellow. And then it was, I didn't know, I wish I knew like why that was, her favorite color and stuff, to like have a deeper meaning to it. But also yellow has like, in film, it's like a happy, joyful color. So I always like that aspect of it. And then I had a hard thing in my real life. And then I happened to be outside and I laid down next to a potted plant. And when I was like, trying to regain myself, I looked at the flower, and it was yellow mums, and I thought they were so beautiful, and it kind of brought me out of the sadness, and it made me realize, oh, even though I'm going through something, there's still beauty in life, and it gave me like a light at the end of the tunnel. So I don't know if it was like luck or fate or my grandma smiling down on me that they were yellow or whatever, but so in the movie there it's like it's one of those keystone moments in the movie that comes up around the climax, and then also it's like the last shot of the thing, something happens to him, so you have to watch
something
to see
happens.
exactly what happens. But
oh boy, I'm gonna watch it right after this. Well, the link for his video is going to be in the description, and the link for What's Left to Bury is going to be in the description also. Go check them out. They're two very much passion projects, and support your local filmmakers, support local artists. Guys, thank you so much for watching. This is a experiment for me, but I wanted to have more in-depth conversations with filmmakers about film and about projects that they're excited about. Tommy, hit us up. What's something that's inspiring you right now before we head off?
Oh man, myself right now. I've like remembering. You forget sometimes like what you did in the past, and I heard like LeBron watches highlights of himself from like the Heat days and stuff sometimes. So sometimes you have to remember who you are and re-inspire yourself with yourself.
Well, you inspire me, so
thanks. You inspire me. Thank you so much for having me. This has been a surreal experience to be on the other side of the podcast mic for the first time.